Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane Batman 1966 comic Lord Deathman. Lord Deathman is an obscure Batman character from the old school comics, but he's made some modern appearances as well. Lord Deathman here is from the Batman 1966, not TV show, but comic. Now, no one has ever made an action figure of Lord Deathman in the 6 and 7 inch scale, and that is what appeals to me. The obscure Batman characters that haven't made before, I want more of those from any of the action figure lines out there. I ordered this guy from the CMD store. They're in stock both there and at Figurine for All. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, DC, McFarlane Toys, age 12 plus, Batman 66, this is the comic logo. Here he is in the package. He has a sword and then a removable cloth soft goods cape. On the back side, Lord Deathman. And then here's an image from the 66 comic. And here's his barcode in case that helps anybody. There's also a Platinum Chase variant of Lord Deathman. He's green and glow in the dark, and I must track that down. So no further ado, let's open him up. And I got this figure with the entire new wave. We have Superman, Lord Deathman, Joker as Batman, and then a Batman robot, all from the 66 comics, all the newest wave. And this is part of a huge haul of figures I got today from the CMD store and Figurine for all the newest McFarlane DC Multiverse and 66 figures. And here's a look at the entire McFarlane 1966 collection before Wave 8, Waves 1 through 7, all the vehicles, and all the playsets. Can't wait to see what's next. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He really comes with 2 accessories, a sword, and then the soft goods cloth cape. But before we take a look at those, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Lord Deathman. It's an old school, obscure, Great D villain that was introduced in 1966 into the Batman comics. Lord Deathman is a Japanese crime lord with the ability to put himself into a yoga trance that makes him appear dead. He has a costume resembling a skeleton in a black cloak, which was permanently grafted to his skin. I love these kind of villains. My specialty is having every single possible character you can get. Batman-related, villain, different characters. I have so many customs. Lord Deathman has been on my list for a long time. Always had a Skull Trooper from Fortnite filling in for him. But they actually released him. I was so surprised when he was on the leaked list and excited, and bam, here he is. Now the figure itself, it's very basic, a little bit smaller than I'd like, but still, it's Lord Deathman in a 6 inch scale. There's not that much special about this guy. He's just a dude in a black outfit with a little skeleton on top. Looks like he's in a Halloween outfit, and that's essentially the thing. When I read Wikipedia, it said it was grafted onto his skin, so I guess it's permanent. He really doesn't have any abilities. A Japanese crime lord, I mean, maybe he has some martial arts skills. He has a sword, kind of implying that. And then he has the ability to fake his death. So he gets into a fight, pretends like he dies, and then that's it. It's a pretty crappy ability. It's more of a defensive ability than an offensive ability, kind of like an opossum. And that is what I love about these shitty, old-school, obscure Batman villains, especially the Silver Age ones. Some of them are so stupid. I mean, you got Calendar Man, you got Humpty Dumpty, you got the Eraser like a giant pencil, there's another guy with a giant camera for his head. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. But I love them. That's the appeal. Batman can be so serious and dark. At the same time, it can be kind of fun, lighthearted, and hokey. And then you can kind of mix it all together. Keep in mind the origin story that I told. That's the old 60s Silver Age version. In the modern day, they brought him back. He's a badass. He's like a martial arts fighter. Dark, scary, all about death. Not nearly as hokey as he used to be, but still. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Does look good. Looking forward to tracking down the Platinum Chase variant. God have him. And here's the figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories. Let's start off with the cape. So here's his cape. Nothing really spectacular about it. It's got that old school sort of plastic ring here. It goes around the figure's neck. On the outside of the cape, it's kind of shiny. Inside, a little bit more dull. It's basic, but at least it's pretty long. I'm pleased with it. It fits the aesthetic of the figures, that's for sure. Here's Lord Deathman without the cape, and here he is with the cape attached. Now let's check out his sword. Since this guy is a Japanese crime lord, It's just assumed that he's a ninja, knows martial arts, is probably part of the Yakuza, and then rolls sushi on the side. I'm kidding, but I'm pretty sure he fit the stereotype, and he has some sort of ninja. He comes with a sword, the blade, silver, pretty basic, the handle, nice sculpt job. Here's Lord Deathman, holding that sword. Now they've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and its accessories. Now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, about 6.1, 6.2 inches tall, which could translate to about 15.5 centimeters. Now for his articulation, which is very basic. Starting with his head, which is actually a little bit of an improvement. It can rotate from side to side. You can also look up and down a pretty good amount. Can even tilt his head a little bit. It's a ball joint, a little bit more range of motion than some of the other figures in this line. Shoulders, a ball joint, goes out a little bit more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a single jointed elbow, 90-degree bend with rotation. His wrist can simply rotate. His waist swivels. He's got old school style hips, go out about like that. Single jointed knees with rotation. And that's about it. Here's a look at Lord Deathman leading some of his henchmen down the streets of Gotham. And then, with even more henchmen, tons of supporters following his cause. And then, even more henchmen. Who would have thought Lord Deathman, a villain no one's ever heard of, had such a large gang in Gotham? Here's Lord Deathman with the rest of the McFarlane's 1966 Batman villains. They're in the villain's lair, plotting against Batman, teaming up. Now let's check them out. Next we have some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane 1966 Batman figures. Here he is with the rest of his wave. We have Robot Batman, Lord Deathman, Joker as Batman, and Superman. This entire wave is based off the 1966 comic. Kind of cool, they can bring new and different characters into the mix this way. The only other 66 figures that are specifically for the comic is Batgirl and Two-Face. Here's Lord Deathman, next to that previous wave of 66 figures. We have Batgirl, then Batman and Robin with their oxygen masks. Then, with the previous wave, this is wave 6, we have King Tut, Two-Face, and a radioactive cow Batman. And now, with the previous wave, Black and White Robin, Egghead, and Black and White Riddler. Each one of these waves has at least one standout character and at least one dud. Egghead was a standout of this wave. The next wave, King Tut and Two-Face, then Batgirl, and then I'd say this new wave with Lord Deathman is a solid home run. Here's Lord Deathman, next to McFarlane's 1966 Batman, Robin, and Batgirl. And here he is, next to Mattel's Batman, Robin, and Batgirl. Here's Lord Deathman, next to the traditional Joker, Riddler, Penguin, and Catwoman villains from the 1966 show. These are the McFarlane versions. Then, next to the Mattel versions of these same villains, here are all the different 1966 villains McFarlane has made. From left to right, we have the Joker, Riddler, Penguin, and Catwoman. Then things get much more interesting as we continue on. Lord Deathman is from the comics, was never in the show. Mr. Freeze from the TV show. King Tut and Egghead from the TV show, and both brand new, never released before Batman villains in the 6 and 7 scale. And then Two-Face from the comics. There are a ton more villains they can do from both the TV show and the comics. Although, rumor is the next wave is going to be based off the 1977 animated series, which concerns me a little bit, as I think there's a ton more from the 66 universe they could do. Now let's check them out, next to some Skull Trooper figures. Here he is, next to a McFarlane Fortnite Skull Trooper. This is a 7-inch scale figure, and this would work great for a Lord Deathman fill-in with your McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. 7-inch scale, and even also by McFarlane. And I did get 4 of these McFarlane Skull Trooper figures. At the time, I thought they could make for some pretty nice Scarecrow henchmen. Dressed in skeletons, kind of got that scary vibe going to them. 7-inch scale, McFarlane toys, fits in great with your DC Multiverse stuff. And here he is, next to the McFarlane Skull Trooper. This is the green glow version. This is a Walgreens exclusive. I also got 4 of these guys. I started something when I got 4 of the original Skull Trooper, then I made a variant, and I already got 4 of the original, and I was using them for an army builder, Scarecrow henchman, so I thought, what the hell, let's get even more Scarecrow henchmen. Then, Jazzware started making 6-inch scale Fortnite figures. McFarlane was still making the 7-inch scale Fortnite figures, but they stopped doing that shortly after. Jazzwares made a Skull Trooper. This is the purple version, to me less desirable than the black and white version, but still, it's 6-inch scale, fits in really good next to Lord Deathman here. And of course, I got 4 of these guys also. Now these aren't going to fit in with your McFarlane DC Multiverse stuff, but I collect 6-inch and 7-inch scale action figures. I need henchmen for my 6-inch scale Scarecrow stuff as well. And now, here he is, next to the black and white Jazzwares 6-inch scale Skull Trooper. This is the best henchman and action figure to complement this Lord Deathman. And of course, I got 4 of them as well. This is the best version of the Skull Trooper in the 6-inch scale. And then of course, we have the McFarlane version in the 7-inch scale. So you have a Lord Deathman or a Lord Deathman henchman for any occasion. And finally, here he is, next to the Jazzwares inverted Skull Trooper. It's basically a backwards version. It has white where the black should be, and black where the white should be, except for his face. And of course, I got 4 of those guys as well, because you can't just stop at that point. And here's my entire collection of Fortnite Skull Trooper figures. I've got 20 of them. It's a pretty hefty Scarecrow army. And you know what? It also works for a Lord Deathman army. And it can also work for Lord Deathman himself. Now, rumor was that Hasbro was going to be doing Skull Trooper, but it looks like their Fortnite license is dying. I don't know if the line's still going on or not. I hope they make one, but I'm skeptical at this point. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane 1966 retro figure, they're typically the 6-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the smaller action figure lines I collect, and work my way larger. Here he is, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures, and some SH Figure Arts action figures. And here he is, next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends, and some Mafex figures. Here's Lord Deathman, next to a spatula. Then, next to some Mattel, and some Mezco DC figures. And now, with some Jazzwares, and some Mattel wrestling figures. Here's Lord Deathman, next to some NECA, and some DC Direct figures. Then, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys, and some Jakks Pacific wrestling figures. And finally, here he is, next to some 7-inch scale McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. We have Supergirl, Nightfall Batman, the Hush Batman with the Bat Raptor 2-pack, and then the Jokerized White Knight Batman. So overall, this Lord Deathman figure is fantastic. It is very basic. It's too small. It's kind of crappy. The articulation is very limited. The accessories are not that spectacular. But I really like the figure. I like the figure because it's a brand new Batman character, never been released before in 6 and 7-inch scale, and that incredibly excites me. Now the figure, it's probably worth like a 5 out of 10. I mean, it looks nice. The paint job's good, the sculpt on the head, the cape, it's probably worth a good 6 out of 10. It is a retro and basic figure and all that fun stuff, but simply the fact that I'm enjoying him so much, I'm going to bump it up to an easy 7 out of 10. I just can't bring myself to get an 8 out of 10 even though I really want to, because the figure itself just doesn't deserve that. Still, I'm enjoying him a lot. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.